Hi, I'm Simon and welcome to the second episode of Gamer's Living Room. So, here we are, all set up and ready to play a bit of Space Harrier. I've got my Mega Drive pad, which I must say is much better than the Master System version, although I do miss those little screw-in thumbsticks that came with the original Master System pads, but they're pretty hard to come by these days. So let's take a look at the Master System version of Space Harrier, and we'll compare it to the arcade version, so we can see, as I said, how close to it gets, or, well, maybe for some of you it'll be how far away it gets. As you can see, there's the start screen, and if you hang around long enough, you'll eventually see this little story come scrolling past that tells you about how you've been brought from Earth to Dragonland to help Uriah, the last of the dragons, free his planet. And here's the first stage, Moot, and it's bright and colourful and it looks nice, but you'll notice that it's not as fast as when we look now at the arcade edition. Much faster, much smoother, and all of the Master System sprites have a square box around them, whereas obviously here on the arcade edition it doesn't. And here with them side by side, first we're listening to the Master System soundtrack, and you can hear it's quite nice. I mean, it's got music, the sound effects are quite good, and as we listen now to the arcade edition, you can see how different it is. The soundtrack's more pumped up, and although this PlayStation 3 version, according to hardcore fans, is pitched a little bit too highly, and so the synthesized speech is a bit squeaky in comparison to the true arcade. And this is part of the game that impressed me the most when I first saw it, and that is the battle against the end of level boss. And as you can see, this is only the arcade edition running here, because it took me a lot longer to defeat it than it did on the Master System. But comparing them side by side here, you can see that the Master System does match the movements of the dragon. The large sprites are really nice, and it's really colourful, and it's got the motion there. And here we're on to the second level. One of the most noticeable differences here is how the Master System had to change the colours of a lot of the elements in the game because of the limited colour palette available to it. Also, there are a lot less of those stone pillars which you have to avoid, which does make it considerably easier on the Master System. And here we are onto the third level, and this is probably one of my favourites in the game. It's so colourful and vibrant. The weird psychedelic mushrooms and the bouncy giant jellyfish creatures really make this level. Also, you'll see a lot of the elements that are there in the arcade are all apparent in the Master System edition. And here we are onto the fourth level, where the ceiling comes in and makes you feel like you're in a tunnel. The sense of speed is not quite there on the Master System, but again, all of the elements are included. And here we have the bonus stage. Now, they do differ slightly, as you can see. The arcade is noticeably faster. I've chopped out parts of the bonus stage on the Master System side of the screen because it takes so much longer to complete. And also, another difference is that there's only one type of tree on the Master System edition, where there's a bit more of a variety on the arcade. And here are a few of the end of level bosses. As you'll see, giant stone faces, two-headed dragons, giant killer robots, blue flashing peanuts, and strange origami things are among the many weird and wonderful bosses that Space Harrier has to offer. It's a game that I still come back to time and time again. Not only do I enjoy playing it, but for me, it's an undiluted hit of pure nostalgia. even within just those brief 5 levels of the game, you get to see a lot of what it has to offer. You can see that it's a basic on-rails shooter, and its simple but enjoyable game mechanic is very apparent. As long as you're continually moving and don't return to the same point where an enemy first started shooting at you, you should do quite well. If by any chance you haven't played Space Harrier, then I really hope that you'll give it a go, and hopefully you'll enjoy it as much as I do. Here's a little bonus that comes with the Master System Edition, the ability to turn your Space Harrier into a jet. This is unlocked through button presses, and I won't tell you how to do it, it's easy to find it out on the internet. The strange thing about it is though, when you die, you turn back into the Harrier. Well, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed taking a look at the Master System version of Space Harrier, and also the comparison to the PlayStation 3 Mega Drive Ultimate Collection's arcade version that's found on there. As before, those of you that saw the previous episode, I asked for some feedback, and I'd like some feedback again please, because as you'll notice, things have changed a little bit since then. Not least in part to me moving to a new apartment, but I've also started using some new equipment, and also it was about 8 months ago when I filmed the last one. So your feedback would be greatly appreciated. If you can leave comments, that'd be fantastic, or a thumbs up, or a thumbs down, whether you liked it or didn't like it. If you've got time, a video response would be really nice. So, just leaves me to say, from my living room to your wherever, this is Simon, signing off. Bye bye.